Lately, I have been seeing anime horse racing girls everywhere on the internet. And no, this is not a sentence I ever expected to say. But viral hits like this just don't happen on accident. And there is a surprisingly emotional and kind of genius story behind how this bizarre fever dream of an idea became an over $2.2 billion franchise. This is the story on how Umamusume took over the internet. Umamusume started off as a pretty wild idea. A gacha game that combined horse racing and idol. For international audiences, these three ideas might sound random, but in Japan, idols, horse racing, and gacha games were at an all-time high. So the act of combining all three of these into one product was basically striking untouched gold. Despite all the hype, this game didn't launch right away. It went through a very long development process. But the creators wouldn't stay quiet during all that time. In 2018, they released a full anime season. And this wasn't just for entertainment, but the intention was to introduce the characters and build a fanbase long before the game launches. If I were to tell you a show about anime horse girls who are also idols could make you cry, you would probably be laughing at me. But Umamusume wasn't just a quirky show about horse girls. It's an actually emotional story. What makes the anime stand out is that all the races are actually based on real Japanese horse racing history. To illustrate how this show gets very emotional, I will be using Silent Sakusa as a case study. In real life, Sakusa was a legendary Japanese racehorse. Fast, elegant, and very beloved. But her story ends tragically. In 1998, during the Tensho Autumn Race, she shattered her leg while leading by a large margin. The injury was so severe that she had to be euthanized on the track, and the horse was only 4 years old. In the anime, Silent Sakusa is portrayed as a top athlete at the Tracing Academy. Calm, focused, and almost untouchable talent. But in a heart-stopping moment during episode 7, she suddenly collapses. The scene is silent, no dramatic music, just a bunch of stunned reactions, and then a cut to credits. Fans who knew the real story thought this was it, the character had died. But the anime does something unexpected. She ends up surviving. What follows is a series of emotional episodes where Sakusa undergoes rehab, unsure if she'll ever get to run again. Her friends rally around her, and the show shifts its focus from the competition just to recover. And when she finally returns to the track, she doesn't just want to win, but she's just happy to simply run. And that moment hit a lot of fans very hard. And this emotional depth is what made this show so memorable to a lot of people. So with the fanbase emotionally invested and the lore already established, the stage was set for when the game finally launched in 2021. And the results were staggering to say the least. When Umamusume finally dropped in February of 2021, many people thought that it has missed its window. The game has been announced 4 years ago, but despite this, Umamusume surprised everyone. The game exploded, earning over $90 million and racking up more than 50 million downloads on just its first month. By mid-2021, it was one of Japan's top 5 highest grossing mobile games. So how did Umamusume compete with giants like Genshin Impact? The answer is surprisingly complex and involves analyzing a game at a holistic perspective. So at its core, Umamusume wasn't just an idle tapping game or a tap fest. It's a full-on training simulation. Each run takes around 30 to 40 minutes, and it feels like you're raising a real athlete. You manage stats such as speed, stamina, power, and guts. You need to decide when you rest or when you push through this fatigue. But it's not just the emotional investments that keep players coming back. Under the hood, Umamusume also nails game design psychology. It taps into three powerful principles. The first one is variable ratio rewards. Just like a slot machine, you never know what you're going to get from training or what gacha pull you will receive. And this unpredictability keeps things exciting and makes players want to come back to the game again and again.
Where's my rainbow stamina? Okay, I'll take this. Rainbow stamina! Rainbow stamina!
One is called the sunk cost fallacy. Because every run takes time and effort, even when you crash out in the final race, you will want to come back to play more Umamusume because you invested so much time into this character and game, and you just don't want to let that go to waste. So you have to try again and again. The last principle is called the fear of missing out. This game often has limited time banners, seasonal events, and special outfits that once they're gone forever. And this creates constant pressure for the players to keep logging back in before they miss out on what could be gone for the rest of their lives.
憧れ、仲間、ライバル、最強、そして伝説。さあ、よく見ていて。次の時代は私が作る。ウマ娘、キャンペーン中。
Massive success in Japan, Umamusume stayed relatively obscure internationally. And this is mostly due to the language barrier. This all would change in June 25th, 2025, with the official English dub of the game being released. Combination of the localization, emotional storytelling, engaging mechanics, and social media virality created the perfect storm. Umamusume became a global sensation.
She's in second! Down the sideline! She might have it! Go ship!
Players all over the world were playing the game, content creators were creating more Umamusume content than ever before, and racetracks in Japan even saw new fans that were curious about the real horses behind this game. And the momentum has not stopped. New anime seasons are in production, global releases are expanding, and what started off as a very niche idea became a over $2 billion sensation. Because Umamusume was never just about horse girls. It was about legacy, emotions, and the stories, real and fiction, behind every run.